necessary to brew Coors Light down as low as 34 degrees? Do the mountains really need to turn blue when your beer's as cold as the Rockies? You be the judge. Frost brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
In a 6-3 performance in one of the uglier games you're ever going to watch in the NFL as far as offensive execution, kind of tough to find a play that really brought any success or any level of execution. So what I'm going to try to do today is really point to the one play that Charlie Whitehurst ran that, just from a standpoint of pulling the trigger. That's what we talked about the last few days with Charlie. Go in there and make a play. You can't play this position of quarterback, and I say this all the time, in a box unafraid to make a mistake and unafraid to make an interception. You got to be able to walk that fine line, as Tom Moore used to say, between playing smart, not scared. Play smart. If the play's there to be made, you got to make that play. You can't be scared to throw that interception. I think the play that really illustrated it more maybe than any other to me was down on the goal line. This is at the point of the game in the third quarter. Seattle down 3-0. It's second and goal. This was after the completion to Sidney Rice. This was after the face mask penalty. This is after the first down run that netted you nothing. So this is second and goal from the Cleveland 2-yard line. And there's some really good things within this play. And Darrell Bevell coming under some fire after that game. And I can't question him with this call and really the next call that followed. So this is a 2nd and 2, and he decides to go naked. And when you hear naked, what you have to understand is schematically, you're going to leave this end away from the play fake. Okay, they're going to run a little zone play fake and wash everything down, and they're going to leave that end unblocked. So the quarterback, you're naked. You have no protection. It is you in that defensive end. So when Charlie hears this play called in the huddle, okay, first of all, you have tackle eligible. Brino comes into the game at tackle. You have Cameron Mora in the wing off of him. You have McCoy, and you move Michael Robinson out at fullback. So you got your heavy alignment, and likewise, Cleveland comes with their goal line. 5-3, very standard defensive front. You see goal line to goal line, 5-3 front. And when Charlie hears this play called, and basically it's called 37 naked sneak, he knows immediately when he breaks that huddle, this game becomes about him, this defensive end, and his sneak route. That's what it becomes. All of these other guys, I hope that's what you take away from Chalk Talk a lot of the times, is there's all the window dressing, there's all these routes, there's all these bodies, but ultimately so many times the game comes down to a 2-on-1. You versus that end, that route runner, that flanker versus that corner. You set everything up to take advantage of that particular matchup. And in this case, you run naked, sneak to really impact and try to beat this defensive end and this linebacker. And that's exactly what the Seahawks do. So they run the zone action. Everybody up front does a wonderful job. Everybody's flying out of there. All the linebackers, everybody's flying out to the zone action. Very well done in the play action. Out comes Charlie versus this defensive end, and then ultimately Michael Robinson runs a flat. McCoy on the corner, so you take those two guys out of the equation, so they're dead, he's dead, and it becomes about the end, the linebacker, Charlie Whitehurst, and then Cameron Moore. And why this is called sneak is because you're trying to sneak this backside tight end underneath all of the action so he can come out unscathed in the flat. Now, penetration will blow this play up. Okay, if this linebacker sees an early motion, okay, oftentimes he's cued into that and everything else. He didn't. The play action was perfect. The linebacker's influenced, and here comes Cameron Mora. He's unaffected. He gets through the rush. He dodges it perfectly. He comes out in the flat, and he's got this linebacker beat by, 5 yards, 3 steps, and all Charlie's got to do, and as I said, when that play comes into my ear, I know it is me and this defensive end. And the D end, give him credit. He kept high, he didn't bite down on the play action. He kept it high, and this was not an easy play to be made. This wasn't simple. He didn't just throw it in the dirt. But he, at that point, has to manipulate this defensive end. He has to come out knowing and anticipating that end's in the way, and I better come out on my fake, and I better hint, I better manipulate, I better fake pump. I need to do something to beat this end one-on-one because I got Cameron Mora for a touchdown with all of this room. Everything's cleared out. It's me, the D end, and the linebacker that's beat, and instead he kind of plays the game the way he played it, very conservatively, and he just launches it out of bounds, throws it away, instead of trying to really make a play. And that was a situation in the game where you go ahead 7-3, where you got to pull the trigger, you got to make a play, make that defining mark, walk that line between being smart and scared to make a mistake. And unfortunately, Charlie couldn't get it done, make that play, much like the Seahawks couldn't make any plays on Sunday in Cleveland.